Kia ora, e te kaupapa whānau. My name's Dr. Bob, and like you, I'm a curious kind of person. I love exploring and experimenting, and I love science and storytelling and music and making loud explosions and things like that. I would love to share with you some of the ideas that keep me entertained when I'm in lockdown. So I've been going through our recycling bin, and I've been pulling out newspapers and cardboard tubes and all sorts of things. We're going to start off today by turning an ordinary cardboard tube into a musical instrument called a kazoo. Great, so we've got our cardboard tube out of the recycling bin. It doesn't have to be this long. If you wanted to share them, you can even cut them in half. But what we've got is our cardboard tube, a rubber band, a pair of scissors, and some ordinary grease-proof baking paper. The cheaper, the better, I think. And we're going to use these to make ourselves a kazoo, a musical instrument. So the first thing we need to do is put a hole about halfway down our cardboard tube. And there's lots of ways of doing it. You can poke your scissors in, you can use a drill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it a little bit, open my scissors up really wide, and just cut what's essentially just a half circle out of there. So we end up with a hole about as big as your finger. Doesn't really matter too much. So then we take our piece of grease-proof baking paper that's been cut quite a bit bigger than the end of the tube. We pop it onto the end of the tube and pull it down tight like a drum skin. Once we've got that, we put our rubber band on over the top to hold it into position. And we're finished. Beautiful. So now we've got our paper on the end of the tube. We've got the hole in the end and the side. And now we have made a kazoo. Now if you've never played a kazoo before, it's not the blowing through the tube that makes the noise. It's the fact that you're speaking down it or singing down it or making silly noises down it. That vibration makes the paper on the end buzz, which gives it that wonderful kazoo sort of sound. To prove my point, I've invited into the studio today my lovely scientific advisory panel. Lolita, welcome. It's good to see you. I love it. Your buzzer sounds like this. Barbie Al McKenzie. Beautiful. Welcome. Professor Simon. Always good. Always good to hang out with our colleagues from overseas. All right. So as far as sound effects go, we're going to use it in a very short story. Here we go. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago before you children were born, there lived a wonderful feminist princess, and she loved to go walking by herself in the jungle around her castle. Far off, the princess heard the royal trumpets blowing their royal trumpets. And in the jungle, she heard the spider monkeys climbing up the trees. And the snapping crocodiles far off in the river. And even further off, the royal corgis barking at the royal palace. Just then, out from behind a bush in the jungle jumped a ferocious tiger. But luckily she was a feminist princess, so she knew Kung Fu. And the tiger ran away with a very sore bottom. Just then, Uncle Trev drove by in his Monaro. And then drove back in the other way. Being chased by the police. Uncle Trev forgot that he was supposed to be in lockdown. And they lived happily ever after. Isn't recycling fun? Kia ora whānau.